Hello and welcome to the Wine Show at Home, an Easter special. But before we do anything else, we've got a note. It comes from Sophie in Kent, and she says, please start drinking the wines earlier in the episodes. I'm waiting too long. Well, here we go. I'm going to start straight away with an Albariño. Write this down. The details are going to be down below here. It's going to be a Mar del Frades Albarino 2018. Now, this is normally £18.95. Not cheap wine, even in this bottle. We'll come back to this in a minute. This is £15.75 from today's partner, Great Western Wines. Hello, Great Western Wines. Saline, forward, vigorous wine. Albariño, this is from the coast, the Atlantic coast. This is what we call Vinos Atlánticos. Well, not everybody calls it that, but I do. That's why I'm wearing this hat. Intense Galician northern Spanish wine. Why have we chosen this? All these have a sort of an Easter link. Literally, Mar del Frades means Sea of Friars. And it's because this is very near the port where you would come in to go and do the trip to the Santiago de Compostela pilgrimage. So it's on that sort of pilgrim's way up in northern Spain. And people wear these kind of hats. These berets. Now, I've got two hats today for this because I could wear one of these northern Spanish berets, but I suppose you get these more across in the Basque country, which isn't Spain at all, Basque people. I was at school with a Basque guy, Jose Yermo. Hello, Jose, if you're watching. There are various school connections, and Jose once won a prize, and they said, the headmaster, about whom we'll come to in a minute, said many congratulations to Jose Yermo for winning the prize. And as he came up on stage, he grabbed the microphone and said, I know a Spanish, because he'd said he was a Spanish boy. He said, I'm from a Basque country. I'm sure Jose doesn't talk like that anymore. But there is a weird connection. All these wines come from greatwesternwines.co.uk, and the manager who runs it, this guy called Edward Mercer, and his dad was my headmaster, Giles. Hello, Giles. I can call you Giles now because we're no longer at school. Indeed, it is more than 30 years since I had to call you sir. I'm sure you won't mind too much. And, we're glad to hear you're keeping well. So yeah, bizarre school connection there. Hello, Edward, as well. Your lovely family. Stay in, stay in. This is really lovely. Albariño, fresh, bright, zesty, zingy wine for really lovely weather. We've got some nice weather this weekend coming up. That's the kind of thing that you want to be drinking, is something bright and zesty. Beautiful summery wine. I've got to tell you, bottle mixed reviews. You know what I mean? I get that it's all about the Atlantic and the crashing waves and people eating perthebis. Have you ever had perthebis? Those little goose barnacles. In fact, I had them on the last shoot of season 3 of the Wine Show, and nobody else wanted them, so I ate the entire plate, bar about 3 of them that the rest of the crew had. Delicious. Gorgeous things. They're really good with seafood. So this is a seafoody wine. I commend it to you. Don't be put off by the bottle, and don't only buy it because of the bottle. What's inside it is fabulous. So, welcome to the Wine Show, our Easter special. I'm going to lose that hat and wear a Portuguese fisherman's hat. So we're out on the coast. There is a little bit of an Easter theme. We've got various bits of Easter sort of factoids that we'll come back to during the episode. Not least, well, it's sort of an appropriate time of wine in May for wine, for time of year for wine, because my Master of Philosophy degree is on the relationship between food and religion. It should have been on the relationship between wine and religion. There are only, I think, 2 books of the Bible that don't mention wine, or certainly in the Old Testament. 2 books of the Old Testament. Jonah is one, and Obadiah. A lot of people say Ruth, but there is a sort of reference to something that could either be hummus or vinegar or wine, but it depends how you translate it in the book of Ruth. The first miracle in the New Testament is the wedding at Cana. Jesus turns water to wine. And if you want a particularly grim, I might put one up on screen, I'll see if I can find one, Easter thing. In the Middle Ages, they used to have these things, and it was Christ in the wine press, and he would be on the cross, Easter, and he would be sort of being pressed himself as if he were grapes and kind of bleeding into the wine. The symbolism is overwhelming. It is extraordinary. So we're going to have a couple of wine recommendations. I mean, that is just a lovely church-related wine, Mar del Frades. But let's move on to the next one. We've got Syrah Cantabria Crianza 2016, £13.95. When I tell you where this comes from. It's amazing value. Normally $15.95. This is made by Marcos Eguren. Now, he made Numancia famous. Go and look up how much Numancia is. It's unbelievably expensive. But this is his family's wine. And it's a Rioja made entirely from Tempranillo, a brilliant match with lamb. I'm having lamb this Easter. I don't know about you. Brilliant sort of Eastery dish. So I've got a couple of great lamb matching wines. Gorgeous. We don't talk about colour enough. I was discussing this yesterday. Incarnadine, the sort of cardinal rim to it. I'm going to have to look up those colours and see if I'm talking out of my bahookie. Lovely tannins, not huge, but they're clear. There's a real clarity to those tannins. Oh, right. It has been in oak. It's not oaky. It's allowed the wine to soften up. You can certainly approach it young. That will last longer. It is a young drinking wine. Lovely strawberry fruit to it. It's not one of those Riojas which has got a real sort of strawberries and cream character. It's not that creamy oak. There's something more serious about it. It is perfect actually with lamb. Lots of people would have claret. This is on the clarity end of Rioja, but it's got more of Rioja's, effectively a sour, slightly sort of sour strawberry fruit to it. That is delicious. That is a real bargain compared to Numancia and what you pay for that. It is slightly ecclesiastical as well. I talked about Church Pew Oak the other day. That's got a bit Church Pew Oak in it. Slightly older. We'd like to mention every so often good causes. And today's good cause, Brew Gooder. BrewGooder.com with their One on Us. Now, it's not wine, this is beer. It's a brilliant idea. Alan Mahon, who came up with this, so he's been making these great beers. You go online to BrewGooder.com, click on the One on Us, or just /One on Us, and you can buy for £6 a round of beers for somebody in the NHS. If you're in the NHS, you can go and claim a round of beers from BrewGooder.com. So you can buy 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and you can say how many people do you want this to go to. It's a brilliant idea. I looked online just minutes before I started filming. 3,111 rounds of beer bought through BrewGooder.com. There will be 3,112 at least, because I'm going to go and do one just now. So go and do it. It's a great idea, that. It's a bit like, do you remember there was the guy who thwarted the... there was a terrorist attack in Glasgow Airport, and there's the guy who sort of ran and thwarted it, and apparently he never needs to buy a pint of beer again, because this pub collected donations and he's got more than a lifetime's worth of drinking, even for a Glaswegian, in that pub. Good stuff. Right, the last of the 3 wines, before we answer a few questions for you, this is made by a friend of mine. Hello, Matt. Well, 2 friends. Matt, particularly close friend, Janelle, his sister. Swinney, in Western Australia. This is Swinney Shiraz. I've been there. I'm going to show you, because you've got to start thinking about what do we do when this all ends. We're going to have to go and visit people again. And I had roast lamb with this wine with Matt and his sister Janelle and various other friends and family and vineyard workers in Frankland River in Australia. This is beautiful. This is a slightly brighter colour. So this is more crimson and plum. What else have we got in there? Maroon even. An amaranth meniscus. Look up meniscus, good word. Oh, this has got brighter, more driven, plummy fruit to it. Softer tannins. Still great with lamb. There's a touch of cornas, if you like Northern Rhone wines. It's got this ferrous feel about it. And in Australia, you often get kind of ironstone feel to wines, and it's got that ironstone ferrous tang to the wine. That is absolutely delicious. £28. I've got that under a screw cap here, for a Corrigan screw cap. If I was going to drink it, I would save it, but I'm going to hand this on to somebody. That is absolutely glorious. Am I allowed to keep this one for myself? Am I allowed one of these? If it is, it's possibly going to be that one. That is glorious. Right, I'm going to answer a few questions down here. Ollie Thomas, Melbourne, Australia. I'm a big believer in decanting. I decant all reds that I drink, even if I only do so for a few minutes. My friends call me the decanter wanker. Am I allowed to say that? Well, I said it. As I always ask the sommelier waiter in restaurants to do so. Decanting reds is a benefit, but however, there's no need to decant white wines, even aged whites. Not entirely true. this is not going to benefit. A young, bright white is not going to benefit. Well, some do from decanting. It's at both ends. I do decant some older whites, and I think they really can benefit from it. They need some time, a little bit of oxygen just to open up. So yes, older whites I do decant. Really young Sauvignon Blancs I often decant as well, because they can often be a little bit sulphury, a bit closed. It's to keep all that bright fruit, but actually if you get straight away, dog point, beautiful wine, often benefits in the first 6 to 8 months of release from going in a decanter, because it can be a little bit too tight. So I would do that. Anthony Wilton, Johannesburg, South Africa. Question about your first episode of The Wine Show at Klein Constantia, episode 1, series 1. You tasted a 1791 Van de Constance. Is this the oldest wine you have tasted? I can tell you, Anthony, it is, by some margin. I had wines this last year, just last year in series 2, we had an 1877, which was lovely in Madeira. Going to come back to that in just 2 secs. 1886 port, but that's the only wine I've had from the 18th century. The year Mozart died, I seem to remember. Now, I've had a note from Wendy. Hello, Wendy. Thank you very much for writing in. She said, thank you very much indeed for sending in your copy of from showing the Drinking Woman's Diet. I'm delighted. This was Wendy yesterday with the Drinking Woman's Diet. Was it yesterday or day before? Go and buy it. If you're a drinking woman, the Drinking Woman's Diet by Wendy Narby is amazing. And I'd really like to be where you are, Wendy, because it says you're in Mauritius. That sounds fabulous. I've got a couple of bits here. Jane from Darwin says, it's Easter. Do you have any wine recommendations with chocolate? I do. 2. Well, 1, but 2. Got 2 bottles. Get yourself some Malvasia Madeira. This is a 5-year-old from a new company. It is called Madeira Vintners. They're all women. It's a brand new business making Madeira, but you want the Malvasia. So this is a 5-year-old Malvasia, brilliant with chocolate. Really gorgeous. This is H.M. Borges, who will feature in Series 3. Amelia and I go and visit H.M. Borges. This is a 20-year-old, absolutely glorious wine. Beautiful with chocolate. So this has had more time to soften up and open up and become richer and denser. This is run by 2 cousins, two women cousins, and we go and visit them in the winery. So there is a sort of female Madeiran twist to the 2 wines, but H.M. Borges or Madeira Vintners, I mean, there aren't that many Madeira companies, so Malvasia if you can't find them, but those 2 are 2 crackers, a very young one and a sort of older, richer one. So that's my recommendation. Drubowski and Steve McMartin both asked the same question. What is the watch you are wearing? It's a George Bamford London, Bamford Mayfair watch, and this is the everyday model. And they did give it to me. It's a little wine show story. The producer took me out for lunch once with Matthew Rees and James Purefoy, and we had tried to get me a watch to wear on camera, and all the watch companies said no because I wasn't important enough. And James Purefoy was late, and he turned up, and he'd just been given a very, very smart watch by a brand I'm not going to tell you about because they didn't give me one. And of course, Mel, thank you very much, fell about laughing because nobody would give me one, but they gave him one like there's no tomorrow. And I think they gave one to Rees as well. So at long last, I got given one. Much cheaper than the one that they got, but I like it. It's a great watch. Bamford. And his dad owns a winery. There you go. Owns Chateau Léoube in Provence. Very good Provençal rosé. Chateau Léoube. I recommend it. What else do we have? Got one more. I've not got enough time. One more question. Patricia Appelqvist. We need a trivia game with Joe, from poets to seduction to geography. There has to be a wine show trivia game, and Joe has to come with it, or at least one of his hats. I'll give you 5 questions. Let's see who can answer these. Let's get rid of this. So, what grape variety is named after the French word for a blackbird? Question 1. Question 2. This is a traditional winemaker's hat from a South American country. But what is it called? I've wanted to wear this hat all the way through. Bottle of wine for $1.09, or $1.09 for a bottle of wine is a lyric in the song The Bottle. But who sang that? I'll give you a clue. His father played for Glasgow Celtic Football Club. And what else do we have? What body part in wine is more correctly called the Gibbs-Marangoni effect? And Kimmeridgian soils are found in lots of winemaking regions in Northern Europe. But where is Kimmeridge? There you go, 5 questions. See how well you get on with those. Thank you for coming and visiting us. Go to Great Western Wines online. They have, at the moment, I'm going to tell you, a 10% case discount on dozens more bottles of wine and free delivery over £50. Actually, that's very low for wine merchants. All the wines here are listed in the description box below. Remember to like us, share, and subscribe to this channel. Turn your notifications on because we're going to have some more bits and pieces coming up. And also subscribe to the Wine Show newsletter at thewineshow.com. You can follow us, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Send in your questions. We'll go and get answers to them. Remember to look up for snippets, and we'll have some more stuff coming around from season 3. You can go and watch seasons 1 and 2 on Hulu and Amazon Prime. Thank you very much for tuning in. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. We are going to take a break over the bank holiday weekend, but we will be back bigger and better after the weekend. Look out, because we'll tell you exactly when. It could be Bank Holiday Monday, but this is being done in my attic. Who knows? Have a great time. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Drink sensibly. Bye-bye.